There's a war in the feeling, they ain't keeping it real. They think it's easy to peel just cause they flipping those bills. The only vote is for kill, but if I trump it'll cost. We already walking dead in the land of the lost. I've been taking it way back, say Jack. Been my own wicked woman on the track. While you twerking in the trap, I'm gonna get them plaques. Yeah, my mind is on them racks. I'm just thinking loosely facts. Go and get that contact with your loose leaf ass. Leaning on the wall with your bathroom pass. Need a Wonder Woman in your life, how fast? How I'm gonna tell the truth, but you puff up pass. Speak my vernacular. Speak my vernacular. Speak my vernacular. She back, For unlawful carnal knowledge, I'm wedged into worry while they suck and hurry. I'm just skating, do my derby. Watch these cameras all pervert me. Won't respect my name and dirt me, but I woke up early. Even when I'm fucking late, I'm applesaucing, frosting the cake, bake your plate A. While they ingenuities ace, I'm planning an escape with the Save the World 10.8. Love potion number 9, fine dine. I want a piece of American pie. Lie under pudding pop shop that I ate the chocolate up. Why they sell me Californication? Afro on Rodeo blaxploitation, and all this to the congregation.
From the heart of the city to the outer edges of the Beltway and beyond, this is the District of Misfits show, the drinking show with a podcast problem. This is your guide into our unique and beautiful city, the good, the bad, the ugly, as well as the funny and straight up ridiculous. Told by us before someone tells it for us. The opinions expressed on this show are our own, and we make no apologies.
What up, my Misfits fans and friends? Welcome to the podcast for the rest of us. I am Marcus Bradley Dunn, the Pasteurized Chef. We are down 2 tonight because I killed him. I left him in a ditch. And once again, I was not ready. So.
This is what happens when the 4 of us go out.
Yeah, last night we went out. It was the first time the 4 of us went out
in a really long time.
So.
And then the next thing you know, we're down by 2.
I got lost. Somebody else got lost. It was fun.
I lost Marcus. Jamie went downstairs to smoke a cigarette. He said the next thing you know, he woke up. Next thing he knows, he woke up in his bedroom on the floor.
Well, I mean, we went to DC9 and then Black Cat. So, yeah, it's 80s night at Black Cat, if you didn't know that.
So
it was a good time.
Good times were had by all.
Yeah. Atta boy George. We love you, George. All right, Val, give us our call to action.
Already? We are the District of Misfits show, drinking show with a podcast problem. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at the District of Misfits show, on Twitter at DC Misfits. On YouTube, you can also find us at the District of Misfits show. Please like and subscribe. You can find other content and other previous shows of District of Misfits, and as well as some other podcasts that we are producing. We can also find us on Twitch at District of Misfits. If you'd like to find and buy some of our merchandise, like the hat that Marcus is wearing or the tank top that I'm wearing, you can find all of those things at crushingdc.com. And if you'd like to be a guest on our show, or if you'd like to amplify your own voice and create your own podcast, you can email us at districtdogfacestudio@gmail.com.
Can you tell who doesn't do the show notes much? I can.
I don't
Torres. Valerie, who do we have on tonight?
Tonight, we have co-founder of ANXO. ANXO? How do you say it? ANXO?
Yep.
Cidery?
Mm-hmm.
Rachel, how do you pronounce your last name?
Topelius. Yeah. That's a weird one. It's new to me too. I got married recently.
So we were very happy to have you on the show. We're going to have you tonight, and then in a few weeks, we'll have you and a plethora of other people talking about some cool things that we have planned for the future. But tonight we're gonna be talking to you, and
It's all about you tonight. All about you.
all about
Put
you.
you on a spotlight.
I don't know how interesting I am, but I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
No, you're pretty interesting, it seems.
Yeah, your bio's deep. Took me like 20 minutes to read
It's a little all over the place. You think
But
it's
it's
going in one
awesome.
direction, and then it changes.
Yeah.
Well, see, I feel like that's like the thing especially for, I feel like that's how it is for people in the industry.
Yeah.
But in particular, the people in the industry here in DC. I feel like there are a lot of people who had, different plans in life and somehow gravitated towards the restaurant and bar industry, and then just it sucks you in.
It does. And it makes for such an interesting community. I love when customers are like, oh, you serve or you bartender? Like, you know nothing about me. Like, there's so much about me that makes me want to be here. Like, why don't you do this?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah. I mean, I've talked about it multiple times. I was a teacher for a really long time. I have my master's in special education, and like,
awesome.
I tried desperately to get in and out of the industry. I mean, the whole reason why I got into it. What's up, Megan? Megan was with us yesterday. She's an honorary Misfit. So, I because I was a teacher, I made so little money. That's how I got pulled into the industry. So I needed to supplement my income to live here in DC as a teacher, as a sad little preschool teacher.
Yeah.
And then,
shit, I'm trying to get out and it keeps pulling me back in.
It does. I mean, I left for a little bit, and then all of a sudden I was like sucked back in.
You know how good it felt to say I was retired from the restaurant industry? I didn't.
Retired?
No.
I mean, that is exactly what happened to me also. Left the restaurant industry, thought it was a temporary thing, came back, again left, thought I was doing something else, couldn't pay for school without doing it, couldn't figure out how to make money as a social worker without it.
Right.
But like, there are a lot of great things.
I feel like social work and like education tends to
hand in hand.
So what's more annoying, the kids or the customers?
It's kind of the same, I think. A lot of the same skills go into it that you have to use in social work and teaching. You use with customers. At least I feel like it.
For sure.
So yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off. So if you want to go back to your last thought, that's fine.
No, I just I think there's a lot about the service industry that's really attractive. Also, I mean, a lot of us fall back to it because it's a great way to make a living. It has a lot of flexibility. But like, it's a fun career. They're interesting people. It's something different every night. You're physically active, which for a lot of us who don't love just sitting in front of the computer all day, like that's pretty great. Good food and beverage is amazing. Like that gets me excited. Like that's fun.
Yeah, so. We all have those wild stories. We've all seen it. I mean, I spent how old am I now? Almost like 26 years in business. So it's like, fuck. I've seen a lot of crazy shit. I've lived in New Orleans. I've lived here.
Awesome.
Communities. I mean, have you only been doing it in DC, or are you out in Missouri doing it as well?
Just in DC. I finished school and came back here. I like hopped around in between, but DC is my industry experience. I started at the Reef 9 million years ago.
So
back when that was a thing. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's interesting because we've done a Reef reunion show.
Really? Oh man.
Yeah, so we had the whole crew.
That's so funny. Brian Harrison was there.
Yeah, he's been on a few times. He's been on 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, so Brian's been a guest. He was like a proper guest one time, and then he was like a surprise guest another time.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then we had him on the also on the Reef reunion because Boo worked there also. Boo used to work at the Reef also.
I met Boo a million years ago, but I was like a 21-year-old child who was hosting for the first time, and feels like a lifetime ago. Oh yeah, definitely. I remember my
Drew
first
Swift
day
had been on our show multiple times also.
Who is that?
Drew Swift. What Denise?
Oh, Drew Swift. Yeah. I worked at Meridian Paint. My first day at the Reef, my job was to run shots across the street in plastic ramekins to the asylum staff, and to bring back running Rumplemints across the street.
What?
That was
and
my
somehow Rumplemints has made a comeback, which makes me angry.
It's super high. It's
I enjoy it.
there are moments for it. There are moments not for it, just to be clear. You can't drink that all night long, but.
So I made one Christmas I made at my bar. It was supposed to be just a joke shot, and it was Grand Marnier, Jaeger, and Rumplemans. And all you could taste was Rumple. It tasted like a Rumpleman. It's all it tasted like was a fucking Rumpleman. And people
so powerful,
ordered it.
It just dominates.
Oh, it's like Drano.
That's just hilarious.
But we took it, and I was like, "This is not half bad, actually. What the fuck is wrong with it? Like, it shouldn't be like
sign
this."
of an alcoholic.
Funny.
That's my early.
Oh, this isn't half that bad.
And I was in Ocean City, so
that seems like an appropriate place. For that.
Right?
It's like you got to have the right time and place.
Yeah, Ocean City. Yeah, we were in Ocean City this weekend, so I enjoy visiting. I never want to live there again. I do not. It's one of those places I do not want to live, but I don't mind getting drunk there and going to Secrets or Fagers or Mackey's or Dead Freddy's, whatever.
Yeah,
we went to so it was Marcus's birthday on Thursday.
Hey, happy birthday!
Thank you.
And we went to see so for his birthday.
Yeah.
I made him go see my friend's band. So they were playing like outside of Ocean City, and I was like, "So, for your birthday, how about we go see my friend's band play?" And then we go out in Ocean City afterwards.
Sounds like a good birthday.
I mean, they're a Grammy Award-winning band. So,
I mean, listen, I've gone to shows where I don't like the band, and they put on a good show. I could care less for this music, but it was a really good show. Does that make sense?
Well said. Yeah.
Yeah, like Dave Matthews, perfect example. Can't stand him, but I love his shows. His shows are fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're solo acts when they used to get ripping. So, and that's the same thing with it.
Good energy.
Yeah, and like he has a following. Like the people who I talked to that night, like they knew every band member's name, like where they're from.
Commitment.
Like, all right, this is what's up. So I felt like an asshole telling them that I knew nothing about the band, but I'm going backstage here in a second. Sorry.
I mean, we got to go backstage.
Look at that.
That's them. So the Asian guy, he's the one that I grew up with. His name is Derek. Growing up, he went by Ricky. And so I always knew him as Ricky. And then like when we got into high school, he wanted to like be all grown and shit. And he was like, I go by Derek. No, he went by Rick. And I was like, I don't know who this Rick is. And like, so he would always introduce himself to new girls as Rick. And they'd be like, oh, you know Rick? And I'd be like, Ricky? And then he went to college. He actually went to AU. And he started going by Derry. And I was like, I don't know who this person is, Derry. But apparently there's like one of their band members is also named Ricky. So when I'm screaming out Ricky on the stage, I'm like, oh, I mean that guy. That Ricky. It was a good show. I felt like.
Sounds like a fun birthday.
Yeah.
Yes. I got some pictures. Give me a second. So, Val, you want to talk about my other birthday gift that you got me and the roommate?
Oh, yeah. So, I have a cat.
You have
I have three cats. I actually have 3 cats. So, I just moved into the house in February. So, I have 3 cats. Marcus isn't necessarily like a huge fan of cats.
Allergic.
I mean, I'm allergic. I just take an allergy pill.
Yeah, I am too. I have 2 cats and I'm allergic. Like, whatever. Fine.
I just part of my morning routine. I gotta pop that fucking allergy pill in, or I'm gonna kill a cat.
Then you're ready to go.
my baby, the little one, Sonic is his name. He's crazy. Like he has a wonky eye, and he's super wiry. Like he's 6 years old. He behaves like he's like 6 months old, but like he's crazy. But Marcus,
yes, he should be. Like, what else are cats gonna do?
Right.
Like,
he's like a nut. He'll like play all by himself. Like he'll just sit in the corner and like with whatever toys there are.
He throws shit up to himself. He'll just smack it.
That's amazing. That's
so
great.
Marcus has grown to have a little bit of a soft spot for Sonic.
To not totally hate
for
him.
his birthday, this is what I got him. I wish we could zoom in on it. because the picture, it's Sonic. Sonic is Sonic.
You're looking amused.
but but it looks like Sonic. I mean, it's just this weird thing that popped up on Facebook one time. Like, it was like, get this made for your cat or whatever, for whoever your favorite cat loving person. And it was the only company that you could get a preview first, because otherwise you have to you just sent in the picture and then they do it for you, so you never really know what it looked like. So I previewed, and I was laughing so hard because, first of all, it took me forever to take this picture because Sonic is crazy, and just the way it came out, it just makes me it's ridiculous. Here, Marcus, I'm gonna send you a zoom of Sonic's face.
So are you a cat person now? Is it official?
I mean, I've had cats off and on throughout the years because I wanted a pet, and they're easier than dogs.
Yeah.
Being in this industry,
Right.
I mean, I can tolerate them. I like it. They don't bother me really. It's just I can't breathe and I get itchy. That's it.
Minor detail.
So because this company, this website, they give you, if you got like 2, it was you get a discount. So our other roommate has a cat. His name is Percy.
Acts like Garfield.
Yeah. He's just wacky. He's like super chill. He's like the only one who really tolerates Sonic, because my other two cats can't stand him. And,
Too much.
And so, oh yeah, he's just way too much for them. And so then, so I got this. So then I got this other shirt for our roommate Matt. Wait, where is it? Hold on. And I think I'm so funny. I mean, I clearly am just amusing myself. But
yeah. So there's a picture of the cat.
Well, what I thought was so funny is it really makes it look like Sonic is like hiding behind the leaves.
Just chilling. I love how much cat paraphernalia is out there. Like I've gotten t-shirts for my husband of like best cat dad, and like socks that have like and I have a dog too. We have weird dog shit also. But like there's such an opportunity to make money off of crazy cat people.
It's such a big industry. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
people
it really is. And the thing is, that's the one of Percy.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
So yeah, and then Matt was
I'm gonna look into getting
one
of those
for yourself, and I was like, well, see, but then that would be really like I couldn't. I was like, I thought about it, but then I'd just be really leaning into the whole like crazy lady.
Yeah, you gotta have boundaries with that for sure.
Yeah.
There was one year for Christmas. I mean, not for Christmas, for Halloween. It was the year that I was getting Sonic, and I was the crazy cat lady for Halloween. I had, like,
how do you
curlers in my
represent
hair.
that?
I was in a house coat, like slippers, with like these crazy big glasses, and I had like these like small little cats that were just stuffed animals that I had like pinned all over my robe.
You cat fur all over you. It's my favorite when you're out like at the grocery store. Like you can tell who cat people are. You can't get rid of that
bag
on you. Yeah.
Yeah, for real. All right.
Anyway, so back to you, Rachel.
Another crazy cat person.
Which makes you even better.
So I'm gonna regret saying this publicly, but I grew up with 9 cats and a dog. I literally thought that I lived in a zoo. Like when you go to school, you learn that a zoo is a place like with lots of different animals that people come to visit to see the animals. And in addition to the cats, we had just every animal you can imagine: boa constrictor, iguana, cockatiel, like bunny, rat, like everything. But the cats really dominated. There was quite a few of them.
Fun childhood right there.
It was, built-in babysitters with the pets. It's a win.
Now, where did you grow up? Where are you from?
I grew up in Baltimore.
Wait, you
and
did?
my dad, yeah.
So did I. Well,
really?
I was outside of Baltimore. I went to the Bryn Mawr School of Girls.
No way! I went to Friends. That's hilarious. I was not thinking that's too funny. That means absolutely nothing to most people, but that's like
Yes,
crazy
including me.
small world.
It is. I was
There's
some
like
of my very best.
yeah.
So I was gonna say Ricky went there, but no, he didn't. He went to BL. No, I lied. He went to McDonough.
McDonald's good one. That's so funny. Wow. Yeah,
But
Baltimore's great.
This
I have a lot
Friends
of
is right down the street from Bryn Mawr, so I'd cut
super
school all the
close.
time. I go to Friends.
Yeah. Yep. Wow. Friends never had anything fun going on. We would usually cut to cross over more on like the Gilman side or
Right.
visit
Well,
you guys.
so my best friend Rita, she went to Bryn Mawr with me, and she was dating a guy from Friends, so we'd always like cut school and go there. And there was this guy I had a crush on, and I'd be like, "Yeah, I'll come with you."
Now, how many damn schools are next to each other?
They're pretty close together. There's the private schools in Baltimore, this like weird little bubble that's there. There's the co-ed ones, which where I went is like one of the three, and then most of them are all guys, all girls schools.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of just crossing over. That sounded wrong, but
So Gilman
yeah.
was my school's brother school.
Yeah.
And then there was also, so it was like the tri-school. There was the other girls' school, Roland Park. So like we all had classes together a lot. I think by my senior year, I only had one class that was completely girls. I think all my other classes were co-ed.
Makes sense. You got to socialize. Got to learn how to be around other people. But that's the thing about Friends is like we were like very insular in a lot of ways because we were co-ed. It was also Quaker school, very, very different bubble. I mean, it was great. It was great in a lot of ways. But that's so funny.
I know. Wait, what year did you graduate?
I'm 04.
I'm a little bit older than you.
Feel old. Yeah, no, Baltimore is great. So I grew up in Baltimore and then I've lived in DC. I went to school in Missouri, which sounds weird, St. Louis, and came back to DC. And then I lived abroad for a year and then I came back to DC. I was never planning on staying. And here I am. And I love it.
That's how it happened.
That's how I was too. I was always like, this year is the year I'm leaving DC. And I just never did.
I mean, I have moved. I have went away and came right back 15 years later. You know,
because you missed it.
Yeah, I still had a lot of friends here, so I would visit. And just timing, the way it happened, like a friend's friend needed a chef, so I was like, I just closed my restaurant in their city down. I didn't really want to stay in the area. I'm like, I'll go back to DC and see what happens. I've not left. 12 years later now. So. Yeah,
I know it's crazy. It's
hard. So why did you choose St. Louis?
I think DC is a very special city.
Yeah. Now, St. Louis, where did you go to school?
St. Louis is a lot like Baltimore.
All right.
I went to Washington University in St. Louis.
Okay.
Yeah, and I stayed for grad school. I was in like a 3-2 situation, so I stayed a little extra. I loved it there. I mean, I loved it. You don't see a lot of the city when you're undergrad. I feel like there's like this kind of separation, and then staying for grad school, I feel like I got to see a lot more of what St. Louis was. Had some crazy experiences, Midwestern style, corn mazes, pumpkin patches, things that like you don't think of. And this side, abortion clinics, you know, things that are just very different there than they are here. That probably sounds weird out of context, but I worked at a Planned Parenthood there. And it was good. It was eye-opening.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about you working at Planned Parenthood in Missouri. What was that like?
Good Lord.
Yeah. Well, in retrospect, I was like a child doing it. It's crazy to think about what you're like when you're, 20 years old. I was in grad school getting my master's in social work, and, I've always been pro-choice. I've always been very out there with my beliefs and was like, I'm going to do this. This is going to be great. And I had no idea what I was getting myself into. It was an amazing experience, like life-changing, amazing experience. It was tough. It's like one thing to say that you believe in something. It is another thing to hold a woman's hand during a procedure and like walk through protesters every day and have bomb drills and, things that like, this was 10 years ago, more than that. So thinking about what it's like now, I mean, this location is shut down for that type of services now because of the changes in the laws, which is
so crazy.
Kind of crazy. There's nowhere in Missouri you can go anymore.
That's what's happening in a lot of places, which sucks, man.
Yeah, I mean, so much of the resources now are just going to redirecting people to where they can get help. And luckily, Illinois isn't far away, and there are some options there. But yeah, it was an incredible experience. The other people working there, you learn so much from other people. You learn a lot about yourself. Learned a lot about the world. You know, you grow up in Baltimore going to a private school in a little bubble, and you think you understand, and then you meet
Right.
people from very different walks of life and realize how much you don't know.
Right.
It was really powerful.
Yeah, I agree that it was so in like the private school sort of community in general in Baltimore, I felt like was very insular. And I felt like we were very what's the word? Sheltered in a lot of ways, because I felt, especially for me as a minority living in Baltimore, I don't feel like I realized like the breadth of the experience that we had, because it was not until one time when I left the city and I was in the South somewhere, and I was like, what? Like I couldn't, it like blew my mind that people behave the way that
That's
they
interesting.
did. And I just,
Because you
I was
didn't
never really
experience it
exposed to that.
as much. Yeah. That's wild. That's got to be quite a powerful experience.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
I
the
think
thing
for
is
me a
that
lot.
I don't think I even, I don't, I think looking back on it, I'm sure there were a lot of like microaggressions that like I just was not aware of,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
or I was just ignorant to, or just, very naive. And now, I mean, I don't know if you've heard about this. There's this Instagram page on that's called like the something about the tri schools. So it would be my school, Gilman and Roland Park, and it's moderated by a bunch of former Black students from the three schools, and they talk about how racist the three schools are, and it is just jaw dropping. I'm like, God, these kids are like, and this is years and years, decades after I was there, that I went to school there, and it's a little bit disheartening to see that it's so prevalent still.
I
I
think,
don't know. I mean,
Friends is
Friends
like
is
a
very different.
Friends is a
Friends,
Quaker school, and like taught diversity classes starting in 3rd grade with comprehensive sexual education. And like
right.
I loved my education, just to be clear. Like I got an incredible education. I feel super lucky. But I think because it presented itself as being like we were the diverse school, we were the open mind. It totally glossed over so much real stuff that, it's like that stuff was still happening just because, 10% of our class was diverse or something like that. And that was the highest in the private school areas. That doesn't make it a safe space for those students. It doesn't make it an inclusive environment. That doesn't represent true diversity of the community we're living in. So I think, only now am I starting to really like understand how sheltered it was. But again, I had an amazing education and felt like it was like very inclusive at the time.
I did too, and I think that I didn't, I felt like as I got older was when I started to appreciate, when I was in school, I was just like fuck school, fuck high school, I was just like a teenager, like this sucks and whatever, Bryn Mawr sucks. But it wasn't until I got out of college really that I really started, or in college and then even out of college, that I started to appreciate like the level of education that I got from Bryn Mawr.
Totally.
And like, and even like you said, like I mean, I felt like, we weren't like super diverse, but we had a fairly diverse community at Bryn Mawr. I just feel like there were a lot of things that were going on that like I was so I don't know, I was just so naive towards, because I just didn't realize,
You know where it's diverse? You know where it is? Public school. I'll tell you stories about
some of the public schools, not some of the public schools in certain parts of Baltimore.
Oh, I mean, my brother's a principal, and like I hear stories. I'm like, holy shit! I'm glad I'm not going to school today. I thought I had it rough. Like,
kids are in charge.
For real, because you can't do anything. I mean, he's got to walk a thin line. You know,
Yeah.
shit, back in the day, I get spanked, paddled, whatever for telling the teacher to fuck off. Now I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Can't do anything.
It's true. Really can't. People, you know, I hate sounding like the old fart in the corner, but like I feel like to be like
You are the old fart.
I am. I'm 50.
I feel like an old fart if it makes you feel better. I feel old AF. Times have
I just feel
changed.
like I don't understand like kids. I feel like saying a lot of
Mhm.
times, like I feel like saying kids these days. Like I don't understand them.
Do you ever see kids walking down the street and you're like, oh, they could be 13 or 18? I have no idea how old these
Yeah.
kids are because they're dressing, like the way they're dressing, the way they're acting, like they're taking a school bus. Like, where are you going? Who are you? Like, why do you have
Why are you 25 and riding the school bus?
$1,000? Yeah. Right. What you doing? Bizarre.
That's fucking hilarious.
Oh.
They failed a few times.
Yeah.
I mean, all right, so your restaurant, do you have a lot of youngins? I mean,
We actually have an older staff, all things considered. Not a lot of youngins. We're like a big community spot. Most of our customers are in the area. So we're Brightwood Pizza and Bottle on Kennedy Street. So we're in Brightwood Park, which is like a really residential area. It's like the northernmost commercial corridor in DC that just hasn't really been developed. There are some great staples that have been around for a long time. Tony's Place. Places that have been there for sure, but there's a huge opportunity for development there that just hasn't really happened. And it means that it's mainly just neighbors who walk in and we know them and we know their kids. And it's just like
That's
a very, it's a good environment. Oh man, wine enthusiast.
I would have found it anyway. Don't worry about it.
It's so funny.
So 40 under 40, that's a pretty prestigious thing to have.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And my brother is my business partner, and he was also on the same list. So we're 2 of the 40, which is pretty awesome.
Your brother's hair is epic.
He's getting more and more. We use Basquatch as a representation of our business. Basquatch is like the Basque version of Sasquatch.
Okay.
So in Basque folklore, that's what ANXO is named after. So ANXO is like this mythical creature, the wild man. Sometimes it's like a hairy, so this is like a depiction made out of the earth that farmers used to do. But like this creature is basically would go around teaching humans ironworking and shepherding, and was kind of like the connection between the natural world and humankind in Basque folklore. And so that's our motto. I don't know, not motto, slogan.
That wasn't be one of my questions. So I was always curious. I used to live around the corner from you guys, so like in 4th and Florida. So and me and my roommate, we didn't stay very long. Once you opened up, we left like a month later. Like she bought this house and we moved out here. But I always was curious about your name.
Gotcha.
Always curious about your name.
Yeah, so it's this weird creature from Basque folklore. We were a Basque influenced restaurant, so our flagship restaurant was open on 3rd in Florida for 5 years. We closed during COVID, along with so many other people. Just reality of COVID life and some challenging landlord situations. But we have this tasting room on Kennedy Street. We've always operated in neighborhoods that are not crammed with restaurants, that people call them up and coming neighborhoods, and I hate that terminology. Like, people have lived there forever. There's nothing up and coming about it. It's just where people live. And it means that we have an awesome community. So I love it. Up at Brightwood Pizza and Bottle, you can get stuff to go. We have a whole bottle shop in the front.
That's cool.
Delicious. It's just, it's like something for everyone. It's cool for a date night. It's good to bring the kids. Our staff are amazing. We have the most wonderful, diverse local staff. Many people walk to work, which I love. And we do have a lot of events to support different causes. So we try to use our platform, the ways that we can.
It's a nice looking joint.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about how did ANXO come to be? Like, what made you and your brother decide to open it?
Crazy enough to think that this was a good idea? It's a great question. So Sam and I have worked in the service industry for a million years, and there's a lot about the service industry that we love. There's a lot of stuff that we don't love. I ended up going back to school for public health also. I'm really passionate about substance abuse in the service industry, sexual harassment, just all of the unhealthy environment that is so often just presented as this is the service industry, as if it has to be that way.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be that way. And so it was actually my brother, the first person to say, like, this is your chance to do social work your way. I had gotten my dream job. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm sure you saw this in teaching, Valerie, but like, you have to operate in other people's systems, and like, there's only so much you can do when you're restricted by that. You don't get a say in it, and it's tough, especially when you're not making money while doing it.
Shit. It's like, why?
I mean, it's not sustainable. So my brother's really passionate about beverages. He was the beverage director at a bunch of DC places. And I had worked my way up, starting hosting at the Reef, working my way up. I was the AGM at Meridian Point. And I just, I really loved it. So we decided to open a place. I was supposed to be the silent partner. I was supposed to continue on in my public health social work journey. I got my dream job right before ANXO opened, working with refugees in healthcare. I was super stoked about it. And it was way too much. Having 2 full-time jobs, I would not recommend it. I'm sure lots of you out there do it. It's rough.
But if you don't have to.
But anyway, we decided, yeah, right. If you don't have to, I would not recommend it. And props to the people who do it. I mean, kitchen staff especially. Wow. Like, it is incredible.
My staff would get off lunch shift that they just got rocked and go right into dinner shift. I'm like, fuck.
Without complaint. I mean, I know I'm jumping all over the place a little bit, but like, this is another thing I'm really passionate about. Like, the way back of house is treated.
Right. I mean, that's the reason
it's wild how hard those people work.
Yeah. And that's part of the reason why I was wanting to get out, because the mental health aspect. Like, I was oppressed. I was drinking. I was just running myself down. And fortunately,
physically abused from standing for.
Right, dude. My back now, like the first year or two that I was not working, I could feel my body. You just feel it. You can tell the difference.
Yeah.
And then, like, when I went back in and started helping a friend open a restaurant, like, I realized how much kitchen muscle I lost. Like, just the movements. My hands were tender. I couldn't touch hot things anymore. But you're right on the mental health.
Yeah, so at ANXO, we start all of our staff at $18 an hour as a minimum, and everybody participates in the tip pool, front of house, back of house, doesn't matter what your position is. Everybody gets an equal weight. Everybody contributes towards service. If the kitchen is getting slammed, someone, for us, it's downstairs, like customer facing staff will go up in the kitchen and help with whatever is needed. And if downstairs is getting slammed, kitchen staff will help run food. We don't have an assigned dishwasher. We don't have an assigned person who cleans the bathroom. Like, the whole team does it together. And the idea is that, everyone can make more money that's consistent and reliable and don't have to take terrible treatment from customers. And, it can be a better environment. I get that doesn't work for everyone. I'm not saying every restaurant should do that, but it's been a really positive change for us in making sure that we can support staff. Right.
And I mean, here's the thing. If people know that going in, then they can't complain later down the road. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah.
For me, exactly. And that's good like I said, DC is expensive. I mean, you guys taking care of your employees should be number one, first and foremost.
Yeah. And it should be, and I think that is something that I've always been very honest about, is that I think that there should be transparency. And I think, like, everyone should have the opportunity to choose whether or not they want to be in, like, a fully tip pool system, or if they want to, be working in a place that's like that employs tip credit, or, or if they just want, like, to be somewhere where it's just a flat rate, and you don't get tips, and you just get a flat rate. I mean, that should be transparent when you're applying for a place. At a place. And,
totally agree.
And it should be our decision whether it should be I feel it should be the establishment's, the owner operator's decision as to what structure they want to have, and then it should be our decision as employees to go to a place where where you would like to be, a system that works for you. And I mean, I think that's great that you are very transparent to the people that you have coming, and that that the back of the house and the front of the house, they all everybody. I
get contacted. Sorry,
We
a
lost
little
you for a
lag for
second.
me. I get contacted all the time. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear me a little bit? I get contacted all the time from the groups that are anti-tips. And like, I'm not anti-tips just because my restaurant uses a service fee and goes about it differently. Like, I think the service industry is one of the few places that you can walk into without a specific education, without spending a certain amount of money or time to get there. And you can make some serious money if you work hard. And I think that's incredible. I don't think that opportunity should be taken away. I just think that it doesn't always have to work that way. What I'm passionate about is actually paying employees the money they make. Like, wage theft is a huge issue in the service industry.
Oh, it's
Like,
terrible.
lack of reliable paycheck is really hard. Like, what happens when you show up for a shift and you only make $20? Like, that's hard. You still have to pay your rent. So I think there are a lot of things that, you know, work differently depending on where you are. And I agree with you entirely. Like, you should decide what the right fit is for you as an employee.
Right.
As an employer, I can't feel good about my front of house staff making $35 an hour when the back of house staff are making $15 an hour. Like, it's, as an employer, like, that's hard for me because they're doing it on the backs of people making minimum wage. Like, that's the reality of that system. I'm not saying that doesn't work for other people. It's just like, that's kind of where we have come from in making our decisions. And transparency
Right.
is huge. The tip pool goes out to everybody. You can see how much money everybody made for the entire day. Like, transparency is a really big part of it.
Right.
And I think that's what most people, I think that for me, I think that's like the biggest, what's the word? I can't think of the word, but I think that's the biggest issue for a lot of, not a lot, but that some of the places that I hear about, you know, it's at the lack of transparency. Like, you don't know where your money's going. Like, at some places, you know,
can't mess with people's money. Like,
Right.
it is a job.
and like,
You're there
and
to make
you know,
money.
I worked at a place where like the rubric was like very clear. You look at the computer, you sit there while you're checking out, you watch as the manager plugs it all in, and you know where all of your money is going. Great.
Yep.
That's wonderful. And then I've also worked at places where, you know, as servers, or let's say the servers, they're tipping out, they're giving 4% of what they've made. They have to give it back for whoever, for the back of the house.
But you have no idea where that's going.
Right. So it's supposed to be for the food runners, for the bar back. Well, not even if you're serving, just for the food runners, and then the bussers, and then technically you're supposed to be tipping bartenders also. So out of that money, that's supposed to be going. So bartenders never got any of that money. Like, and then like, where was the rest of that 4% going? Because it was a lot of money that was going to whoever, you know, and it was
a huge
certainly
problem
not
in
the
the
back of the
restaurant
house.
industry. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I think that there should be a better oversight on how money is distributed, and more repercussion for establishments that aren't being, you know, are
bad operators.
Good operators, yeah, because there are a lot of like you guys and like other places that like are very clear and are treat their employees well, pay their back of the house well, you know, even if it's like on a different system, even if they still employ the tip credit or whatever, you know. And you know, and it's just unfortunate that there are those bad actors that are still out there, and they just continue to act badly.
Well, nobody's smacking their hand. That's why they're doing it.
Right.
Still get away with it.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
I will say there's a lot of nuances with the laws with this. So like, you can't actually include anyone making above minimum wage in a tip pool if you are using the tip credit for any employees. And like, tips legally belong to staff, whereas service charge legally belongs to the business. There's a lot of legal nuances, and I feel like there's not a lot of support for. I agree that there are bad actors for sure, and they're not getting in trouble, and it's a huge problem. I think that there's a small amount of operators that think they're doing the right thing or want to be doing the right thing, and they have no idea what that is. And it would be nice if the city provided some support of like, hey, this is not right. Here are the rules. Here's what you can do. Here, you know, let's check up on this and like make sure you're doing this properly. And
like how we have to get like our serve safe and you guys have to get your tips classes in. Owners should be doing the same thing. There should be a class that teach for better, not just the reprimand, but
it's
like,
confusing.
hey,
I mean,
right.
And something that's like renewable that has to be like what, like our tips, whatever, have to be done every 2 years,
every 2
like
years or something. Yep.
Yeah. Or like the
that would be
manager's
awesome.
license, the ABRA license has to be done what, 3 years, every 3 years?
Yeah,
Like
I think so.
Yeah, and honestly, like you just said, it's complicated. You know, a lot of nuances in this. So yeah, I mean, I know we all know every restaurant is different, but like, you know, the law is the law. You know, it doesn't change.
Right. And even like people who've been in it for a long time and really are like good actors and like want to do the right thing, you know, like there's so many things, like you said, that are nuanced. Like the whole 80-20 thing confuses me sometimes. Like the 80-20 rule. I'm like, oh, like should I be like, and it's hard, you know, I think that like you said, there should be more support. And
we explain to the people what 80-20 is.
That's the thing. It's like, I'm not 100%.
It's with job responsibilities. What percentage of your work can be it? I think that it has to do with salaried. Is this what we're talking about?
Yeah, salary versus like
when you get overtime, it's like exempt versus non-exempt. You have to have a certain amount of your work towards certain things. There's also rules of salaries. Like you can't just be on salary. There are 3 tests for salary of like, are you in charge of other people? Do you do a function that nobody else does? I forget what the third is, but like otherwise you could put a line cook on salary to avoid paying them overtime. But salary has to have certain responsibilities that come along with it. It's a little bit unfortunate because salary also comes with benefits a lot of times.
Right.
So, you know, it's an interesting, like, what is in the best interest of the employee? Like if they're making enough money on salary to compensate for what they would be making with overtime while getting benefits, like what's actually better for the employee.
Right.
But again, complicated.
I mean, that just kind of confused me. All that.
I do a lot of this stuff.
I tell you what, when I owned my restaurant, when I bought into my restaurant, me and my partner, I thought, you know, I just got done running 3 restaurants at the same time. Like I've been doing executive chef for like 10 years plus. I'm like, I know 90% of the restaurant business. After I shut down, you know, I did learn a lot, but like the first year, it was like learning on the fly. And I realized I knew 45%. Like there was so much
HR. Like HR is this category that's totally discounted as bullshit. Sorry, as not real.
Oh, we're way past the 10.
Okay, I think I broke it anyway in the first step. People think of HR as bullshit, and like good HR should protect the business, but more importantly, it should take care of employees in a way that protects the business. And it's
right.
It is confusing. It is hard to do. Every state is different. There are so many nuances. Laws change. It costs a lot of money to do good HR for a restaurant, and restaurants already operate on such a narrow profit margin. You can't afford to hire an HR specialist. Right. And that's honestly, like, that's one of the things I'm most passionate about is like providing support to restaurants in like, hey, you didn't know that this is a thing, but like, this is a thing. Did you know that sexual harassment training is now a requirement if you use the tip credit? And like, that's for a reason. It's because tipped employees get harassed more often.
Right.
So anyway.
No, I mean, you're right. They take it.
But it's about money. It's expensive. And restaurants don't have money. People don't understand that.
Yeah. No. I mean, I worked for a few hotels there. So really I always had a HR going, you know, and like when I was at the MGM.
Yeah, hotels are a whole different world.
Yeah, I was at the MGM doing the whole Me Too movement, and when that guy, the Vegas shooting, so I was working for that company that it happened in, and you know what I did like about them, as soon as Me Too started, you know, had this thing, they're like, all right, we got to train our managers again, and it's not like again, but they do this all the time, like yearly, we have to update our shit, you know, and then like the Me Too thing was like, here's your exits, so they were very proactive. You know, they didn't wait. And they just did it. Granted, they're $1 billion company, but
because they can't afford to not do it. They have too much to lose, and they have the resources to do it.
Yeah, right. And and like I said, some of the reasons I like hotels because they got their shit together for the most part. Most of them do. Most of them.
Yep.
You would hope. You would hope.
Yeah, I've worked for some shitty hotels where everybody was nice and great, but like the upper management kind of suck. It ruined the whole hotel. You know, there's nothing worse than like knowing you have a great kitchen staff or front of the house or a good staff, and a good general manager fucks it up, or a bad general manager, I should say, or you know what I mean, getting away sometimes.
It's so often a general manager who's never done the jobs that they're overseeing. Like I hate when somebody comes into that position having never sat people, having never bar back, having never pulled mats at the end of the night. Like don't tell someone it's no big deal to do that at 3 a.m. on a trash bar when they're supposed to be out at 3:10. When you've never done it before. Like it drives me crazy.
Amen.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah. That was a big part of restaurant life for myself and my partners. We have another partner, Cooper, who my brother and I went to school with, and Cooper moved here to start at the door at Meridian Pint to learn the industry from the ground up because he was going to be part of our group in opening the restaurant. It's like, cool. Awesome. In order to do that, he started security, he bar backed, like he did it all. And as a result, I think he understands it in such a different way.
Yeah, you respect the game.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, like that. Have you seen that show, The Bear, on Hulu?
No.
Or FX? So it's about a guy who's a chef, and some happens, and he takes over the family restaurant or whatever. But there's a lot of things in the episodes you can see that only restaurant people know. You know, like drinking out the deli cups and just like certain things they would say. But he spent a year working at the CIA culinary in New York, Hyde Park.
Yep.
And then he worked in some of the restaurants. So he actually put a year of his life in the service industry just so he could do it right. And it's the best that I've ever seen restaurant wise. Like,
it is definitely one of the best. Like it's called The Bear.
The Bear. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the guy from Shameless. It's one of the guys from Shameless.
Nice.
But it's like
Frank. Not Frank.
It's actually very like when I watched it, and I've heard a lot of people say, a lot of my friends in the industry who've also said it, that like that first episode, it was like triggering, and like I've not worked in the back of the house, but like just like the anxiety of it all, and just like the high pace and everything, and this restaurant that they're using that they're depicting is not like a full service restaurant, it's like a deli kind of, but like it's still like all the things that happen, all the chaos that like happens front of the house, back of the house. And I was like, oh, I don't think I can watch this show. Like I started sweating.
I find it like kind of therapeutic though. I mean, it's like nice to see it and be like, yeah, I did that. I lived through that. It was bonkers. And like people are still doing that. It's like there's something about seeing it like outside of your own experience. I haven't seen this specific show, so maybe the show is actually more triggering. But like talking about deli cups, like I love seeing people drinking out of deli cups. It's like it feels like home to me. Right. I love seeing like somebody walking home and they have a rag tucked in their back. I'm like, oh, I should give them a heads up. It's like
that's me probably 95% of the time that I leave the restaurant. Like I keep forgetting that I still have a bar rag tucked into my.
Dude, we have like 100 bar rags here because I would always walk out of my restaurants with them. They'd be like still in my pockets. I'm like, I ain't taking it back. These are good rags.
so like HR in me though, or like the like restaurant mom in me is like, don't do that because people know you have cash on you and like you're a target. It's like a funny. Right. But but I also see it and I'm like, oh yeah, I hope you had a good night. Good night.
What I mean? So this show was originally formed. It was the DC as Fuck show, but it was created because I mean I worked at the Pug and I did a lot of late nights. I worked at other bars, but like. It's like us
late night at the Pug. It's hilarious.
I never ran
good times. Yeah,
it was. So like it was. We just had great conversations. Like we all know, every restaurant person always says, "Wish we had this recorded."
Okay.
So when I had the opportunity, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start a fucking. This is back in 15, 16. I was like, I'm gonna start a podcast, and it's just gonna be service industry focused. It's gonna be like hanging out with my friends. And here we are, 4 or 5 years later. Still going at it. Yeah, so it's like, but in like one of the things that we always get when people watch the show for the first time, they say you guys have good energy together. You guys have been around each other. I was like, yes, we've all been in the service industry. One also fired each other at least once or twice, and been drunk at each other many nights. So like we do this pretty much every Sunday.
Quit many times.
I mean, like any dysfunctional restaurant family, that's how we've been, and
that's how it is. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think there's something special that really draws people together in this industry. It's like but like some of it, going back to the triggering, like some of it is this like shared survival,
right?
Shit.
Like holy shit, we got through that. And like nobody understands what that was like, but we did that. It's pretty special. And then attracting so many different people from different backgrounds makes it so much more interesting too.
Right.
And that's I've always loved that. Yeah. I've always loved the fact that, like, you know, starting up 14 years old washing dishes, the 19-year-old or 17-year-old me getting my first line cooking job. You know, being the baby out in Ocean City, there was a lot of crazy motherfuckers around Ocean City.
Oh, sure.
You know, motherfuckers just smoking weed in the kitchen before it was legal, and just like, what's going? Like my first summer, I was like, this is the life for me. I dropped out of college and started doing. I just
like
some of the wild shit that I saw. It's like, fuck, man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like I said, we all have those stories.
Oh, definitely.
I'm trying to find a meme that I think I showed it last week. It will. Yeah. Let me download this real quick, and it'll go along with everything we're just talking about right now. You guys
I'm having like funny flashbacks to like different walk-ins and sitting on top of the walk-in at the reef, and like just different like the back of house or like late night moments, like coming out with the sunrise, like things that I don't know. It's like hard to explain to people who haven't experienced it.
Right. Yeah. I was just talking to one of my friends that I used to work with way back in the day. We like, and he's the general manager at Billy Martin's Tavern now. But like, I trained him when he was 19. He was like a snot-nosed 19-year-old college kid who like showed up to work like first day he shows up and he's like still fucking drunk from his fraternity party the night before, just reeking of booze. He had his like collar pop. We were wearing button-down shirts and ties, and he has collar popped up. And I was like, "Who is this fucking asshole?" Like I was like, "Why do I have to?" Why do I have to train him? Meanwhile, so I'm telling this story to all of his employees from Billy Martin's. Like they're all sitting at the bar last night, and I was like, "Yeah," and this is it. I was like 19 years old. That kid. That's who I have trained, and look at him now, general manager.
Never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I've seen cooks of mine go through the system, my system, and then a couple years later are executive chefs. And like I've seen people, because if you have it, you have it. You know.
Yeah.
Some people show up for a paycheck.
Of the industry is that you can start as like a dishwasher. You can start as like, you know, as a bar back or a food runner, and then you know if it takes hold of you, then you can make your way through and be an owner. You know, be an owner, be a manager, or whatever. You know.
All right, let me play this TikTok.
Hey Nicole, I know how earlier I called you a see you next Tuesday, and I screamed at you and I told you everyone here hates you. I was in the weeds. Yeah. Oh, you're one across the street? Okay, yeah, I'll meet you over there. Sounds good. Hey, chef. I know how pretty much earlier I told you to eat shit, and that my 85-year-old blind grandmother cooks better than you and that you suck at your job. I was in the weeds. Yeah. Oh, is that an extra? Oh, yeah, please. I'll have a bite. Thank you. Hey, Mike, I know how earlier I screamed at you and said you were the worst manager I've ever had and that you suck on Expo, and anytime you are in the window on Expo, you mess everything up. Yeah, I was in the weeds. Oh, were you able to approve my day off next week? Oh, thank you, you're the best. Oh, hey, Rachel, you still in here crying? So I know earlier I screamed at you and said everyone's sick and tired of you crying, whining, and always complaining and always bringing your drama in here and at work and you not ever focusing on your job and actually doing your job. Yeah, I was in the weeds. Oh, no, you're fine. Your makeup looks fine. You're good. You're good. Okay, well,
I saw that.
That would have been more accurate, though, if it weren't I were in the weeds. It'd be like, I just did clopin or something like that. Like, when you're in the weeds, you don't have time for that. Like,
yeah. You're right. That's the only thing I disagree with it, too. Yeah, but, yeah.
Like, I just worked a triple. I'm exhausted, and some asshole at brunch threw up in the sink. I had to clean it up. And like, you know, like, that's when I'm like, hate you all. Yeah, not that honestly doesn't happen.
Yeah, go cry in the walk-in.
I mean, if you haven't cried in the walk-in,
go cry in the walk-in like everybody else.
Who hasn't cried in the walk-in? Come on,
you haven't. Yeah, everybody
who hasn't.
Right. If you haven't done it, then you ain't doing it right.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Start screaming and like telling everybody to go fuck themselves. God, fuck this, please. I'm gonna quit tomorrow.
Quit so many jobs ever.
We used to go to the walk-in Friday nights. I shouldn't even say this. Whatever. It doesn't matter. At Meridian Point, Friday nights when it was the busiest, when the most customers needed things, when I was a manager, one of the barbacks and I would go into the walk-in and shotgun a Red Bull and just like take a minute. Like everybody needed things. And like that's when we would be like, I'm taking it. I'm going. Like, let's go. And we would shotgun a Red Bull and just chill. And then we would come out and get back to it. It was great. Very therapeutic.
See, that's one of my tricks I do with any staff I'm training and they ever get flustered, or any of my cooks. I would just be like, take your second, go into walk-in, 35 seconds to a minute.
Yeah.
Come right back out. Sometimes you just need to refocus or reset. You just need that.
Yeah.
I love how everything is like, just go into the walk-in.
Just go in the walk-in.
Pull yourself together. Go
come out a better person. It'll be great. Yeah. I love the walk-in. As I'm pregnant right now, as a pregnant person, the walk-in is my best friend. Like I'm going up and down the stairs. I'm like, I'm just gonna be in there for a minute. Just leave me. Our prep manager is also pregnant. I'm like, you like put a chair in there and just chill for a while.
I was just getting ready to ask you to chair in the walk-in.
Sometimes gotta do what you gotta do. Like it is hot. DC summer. Kitchen gets toasty.
Oh my God. Yeah. So I work outside. I work at Nick's Riverside Grill in Georgetown.
Yeah.
And when it gets toasty. Sometimes it gets so hot, I'm like, I have to go inside for a second. I just sit in the walk-in. I'll just be like,
yeah, it's the best. It is the best.
I mean, I know one of our tricks in the kitchen is like putting a towel in the freezer, wet towel in the freezer. So like at 8:30, 8 o'clock rush, you just put it on your neck. You're just like, oh.
It also like wakes you up.
There's
it's like
racks,
relaxing,
like,
but wakes you up.
Huh? Yes.
It's like relaxing, but it also like gives you a jump start of energy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like shotgun Red Bull.
Shotgun a Red Bull is probably not the best decision for your heart, especially when I don't know if you guys have ever zingered and put some vodka in there, before you shotgun it and then shotgun. Yeah, that was my move in my 20s. That was like my go-to, making other people zinger too.
It's funny to me now that they have like the actual like the key to like do the zingers.
What is that? You don't need that. That's not. Come on.
Now they have them. You can just buy
like an actual device for it.
It's it's like a wine. It's like a can opener, but it's like specific for zingers.
Right.
So Rachel, I'm gonna apologize now for Jamie.
Oh,
is Jamie here?
Don't apologize, baby. Yeah.
I thought I was already going to be in bed by now. I stuck around just in case you showed up.
I mean, look, if I wasn't me, I'd like me too, you know?
Jamie, can you tell us what happened last night?
I went to go smoke a cigarette and I woke up on my bedroom floor.
That's the whole story.
That's the whole story. I woke up and was like, how the fuck? When the fuck?
I went downstairs and had your bathroom for you.
Really?
Marcus was looking for you. He went into the bathroom upstairs, went to the bathroom downstairs.
Thought you got lost.
Yeah, I don't like. I think I just went into autopilot mode and it was like, go home.
You were very huggy last night.
I'm a hugger. Shit, I'm a loving individual. You know what I mean? Huggy guy.
Makes you way to be.
If it makes you feel better, I walked home from U Street.
You're tripping.
To Mount Rainier?
Walked home to Mount Rainier because he's an asshole. This is what Marcus likes to do. Like the last time when I was holding on to him in Adams Morgan, I was holding onto his bag because he was insisting that I was going in the wrong direction to go to a bar that I work at sometimes. So I knew exactly where we were going. And he was like, no, you're going the wrong way. And I was like, I'm not. And he was like, I just have to go home. So I'm holding onto the bag. Like, I'll just take you home. Calm down. I will take you home because we live in the same house. So I'm holding on to him. He's like trying to pull away from me. The police officers come over and they're like, ma'am, is everything okay? I was like, yeah, it's fine. And they were like,
everything is not okay, officer.
And then he goes, because you know what it looks like, right? And I was like, well, it might look like I'm trying to rob him, but really I'm just trying to get him to go home. So like they're like, okay, cool. As I'm holding his stupid backpack, this motherfucker shimmies out of it, like literally like shimmies out and like runs away from me. And I was like, fuck you, Marcus. So I was just like, fine, go, like Meanwhile, I had his credit card, his bank card in my hand because he gave it to me, and I like looked at this kid that P.S. Marcus picked up some random guy at another bar. Was like, "Oh, you're from wherever he was visiting." He was like, "Oh, let me show you the town." So I take this kid that I don't even know. I go, you know what?
Friendly over here.
I go, let's go drink on Marcus. So we went to Town Tavern and ran up the fucking town.
He did watch the show last week too, so
there you go. That's what matters.
You follow.
Shimmied out of his backpack. So then,
how long did it take you to walk home?
Last night.
Yeah. So who knows?
Yeah.
So we're walking back to my car from Black Cat, and he's like, I don't even know what you were complaining. You're like, oh, I'm winded. I was like, how can you possibly be winded? You run 5 miles a day. Like, we're walking 3 blocks. Why are you winded?
I'm drunk though, and a little bit of a hill action. I'll be a little winded. I'm not.
I'm walking. He's behind me. I was like, okay, this is where my car is, right? I turn around. This bitch is gone. And I was like, where did he go? So then I called him. He goes, I'm at Sully's. I was like, how can you possibly go at Sully's unless you fucking ran over there, Mr. Winded? So I get over there, not at Sully's.
I'm impressed, bro.
Not at Sully's. So I go, where are you? He goes, 9th Street. I was like, where on 9th Street? 9th Street. Just kept yelling 9th Street into the phone. And I was like,
just on 9th Street.
You know what? Figure out how to get home yourself.
When I was in high school, one of the parties got busted, and we were trying to track down all of our friends or whatever. And we called my buddy. He was like, I'm too drunk to read. And I was like, what do you see? And he was like, a bench. And I was like, are you face down on the bench? And he said, yes. Said, okay. Lift your fucking head up. You see. And then all of a sudden I hear a train go by. So, like, you know, the R line's from Philly. So it was like, we're just going down every track number, whatever. This motherfucker had ran like 5 fucking stations up and was blacked out sleep. And on like the fucking bench, the train doesn't come till like 6 in the morning or whatever the fuck. But I was like, how the fuck did you get all the way up here? He was like, I saw the line.
I mean, I have been locked into a metro before here.
Locked into?
Anacostia Station. I woke up. It's after a long shift. Had a couple beers and shots. Looked up. All the lights were off. The metro was closed. I'm like, these motherfuckers left me in there.
Really?
I had to climb.
They left you in the car.
Yeah, I had to climb over a fence and jump out of the metro onto the highway almost, and pop my knee when I landed.
Yeah,
so that was another 4-hour walk.
Fuck that
you
shit.
seem to do a lot of those.
Yeah, bro, you gotta work on this. I figured out that I took a scooter home last night because when I went to go get cigarettes this morning, there was like a scooter that was like sideways, like upside down there, like over in front of my building, and I was like, yeah, that's what did it.
That must have been me.
That's probably me. I did that. Got a nice little $20 charge on that bitch, so I never closed it.
That's the worst.
But then also, that's what you get.
Got me home. That's what I get. Because I'm guessing that is Batman doing y'all. Like,
yeah.
Fuck it.
So you're smoking a cigarette and
I didn't even mean. I thought I was in good health when I saw y'all last. I was like, everything's fucking fine. Everything's fan goddamn tastic. I don't even remember hitting the whole cigarette. I remember lighting it, and then it was just like, oh shit! Like the sun's up, my kid's pushing me and shit. Dad, I'm hungry. I'm like, sorry, kid. And then
on the floor.
Right, add insult to the most injury. Guess who had to work brunch today?
Oh, that's right. You had to work brunch today.
That's aggressive.
Aggressive. It was actually aggressive. Nobody came in luckily till like 2:00 by the grace of white Jesus, because the service you would have got was not good. I don't even think I cut fruit till like 2, and then like I had like eggs and bacon. I took a nap. Like, so somebody could have came in. I don't really know. But I was chilling. I was real my best life, but I was working with Jeff, and Jeff didn't wake up till 1:30, so I was on top. So I opened by my damn self, and then Jeff come running to the door. I'm like, motherfucker, you know ain't nobody here. I called your bitch ass. Like, the fuck, like. And then we sat there and told sad stories about how our lives feel right now, which is awful. There's just brown liquor music in the background. I think I cried. Yeah.
Ugly cried today?
Ugly cried, like in the bathroom. Like just full on white girl. I almost threw up when I was brushing my teeth, you know, that type of hungover, you know what I mean? Like you just get you get past the first four, and it's just like, so I don't need this, I have it. I'm dry heaving because there's nothing left. God doesn't fuck with me. As you see, I'm drinking water still.
There was like a hot second this afternoon when I was like, maybe I'll go see Jamie for brunch. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that to him.
I wouldn't even stood up. I was like, hey, Val.
Come back here and punch in your order.
Right. You can do it yourself. You know micros. I believe in you, bitch.
Speaking of early mornings, but less exciting early mornings, I have HVAC maintenance at 7 a.m. So I think this is probably my time. I'm the morning person for the business. It's like the less fun morning version of what you're talking about, the sober one.
Well, can you give
less
us before
exciting.
Before you pop out, just give us some of your tags, where they can find you, and are you still doing that program, the cider program?
The cider program. What cider program are we doing?
Or the cider club?
The membership? Is that what we're talking about? Yeah, sorry. So we have membership. So our ciders, all of our ciders are apples only, made in DC. We also have a location in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. They are literally 0 grams of sugar, fermented totally dry. People tell me all the time they don't like cider because it's sweet. You will like our cider, literally sugar-free. It's low carb, it's gluten-free. A lot of it's kosher, like the most inclusive beverage you could ever want. It doesn't make you feel like
we're
shit
drinking some today
because you're not going to be epically hungover tomorrow. You're going to enjoy it.
I have some of that shit in my fridge right now. I'm a huge fan of the rosé one. I fuck that shit up.
Awesome.
I like to put it in a wine glass because it's pretty.
Chambersburg, shipping in Pennsylvania, right?
Also
yeah. So we have a facility in Chambersburg.
Why?
Because DC is really expensive for manufacturing, and they make it really difficult to manufacture. So we have warehousing there.
I used to date a girl who lived in Shippensburg, so I would go. I've been many Christmases in that area.
That is like the smallest world. Weird, like that is small town, bizarre. It's adorable. It's cute. It's got some personality.
It shouldn't exist.
It's working hard to stay. They're like putting a lot of energy into the town. Cute.
I mean, I've been there like 15 years now, so I couldn't tell you.
I would imagine it's changed a lot in 15 years. There's like a whole little downtown area. And
the town only had 2 bars.
It has
before.
Changed.
Yeah.
They had like 2 bars right next to each other, actually.
Yeah, it's funny. So yeah, come get some of our cider. Visit the restaurant, get some pizza. We're doing a fundraiser on Wednesday for the DC Abortion Fund.
Please let us know about the fundraisers for this Wednesday.
Yeah, so that's a very old. These are some collabs we did way back in the day. The first cider that we made. So we are raising money for the DC Abortion Fund. We've been doing events supporting them for many years. Obviously, this is a rough time for abortion access. And we got to keep momentum going. So we make this cider called DCAF using local foraged apples. In DC, there are apples everywhere. The median strips of 14th and 16th Street, those are all crab apples. The tiny little ones that look like berries. Those are apples. And they make the best cider. Like seriously, the most delicious cider. And nobody's going to eat them. It's not like you're taking away fruit from someone.
Right.
We just threw them at each other as kids because they make excellent rocks. Excellent.
They're good little like pelters.
Mm-hmm.
So they make awesome cider. So we made a small batch of forage cider. We're going to donate the proceeds to the DC Abortion Fund. We have a special cocktail also on Wednesday, and then we're going to be doing a big foraging thing this fall. So like you said, like you have memories of like throwing crab apples. They're all over DC. People have apple trees in their backyards that they don't know what to do with them. So forage your apples, give them to us. We'll make cider out of it and donate to an awesome cause. And we'll put out some more information about that next time.
So the event on Wednesday, what time is it from? till, or what's the time?
That's a great question. Let's say it starts at 5, maybe 4. We'll be donating all day long. The DC Abortion Fund will have a table there starting at 5,
Okay.
and they'll have some information. I know a lot of DC people are kind of confused. What does it mean for abortion access in DC, because we're not a state, and like there's some interesting nuances to it, and the DC Abortion Fund will be there to provide some more information, and then we'll be raising money, which is an important part of it, creating access for everyone.
We will also be there.
Yeah, we're excited to work with you all on some t-shirts and get the word out and raise some money for an awesome cause. Yeah, that looks amazing. That looks amazing. Valerie's design.
I've actually had people stop me and be like, "I love your shirt."
It's amazing.
And it took me like a week or two to realize the capital was the belly button.
Marcus.
I realized that immediately.
Thanks, Rachel.
I enjoy making fun of myself. Didn't even realize what it was for like 5 seconds. Why does Marcus have a Rocky shirt on?
That's funny.
Hey, it got you thinking about it though. That's good. That's kind of good art.
Hey, you know me, I'm always thinking about the next abortion. Yes, dark.
You didn't do safe words.
All of you at home laughed at this week.
You didn't do safe words. You didn't think you were going on.
Well, I'm not going to use it.
So the just to clarify, so the cider that you'll be featuring on Wednesday is from a previous foraging event.
Yeah, it's something that our staff did and foraged, and it's wild fermented in glass. And then we do a special cocktail too. Our GM is super talented, and her husband works at the farmer's market. He has his own mushroom company. So she got some blueberries, and she's going to be doing a version of like a blueberry whiskey sour that we're going to donate the proceeds from also. It'll just be a fun night. It's kind of like this Kickstarter to doing a bigger campaign to try to raise some real money. But it's also, you know, a lot of us have a lot of feelings about abortion access these days, and it's nice to be in shared company and talk about it and learn about it while contributing to the cause. Should be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, when we'll have a Cooper was saying that he'll try and create like a flyer for it. So
yeah,
Monday,
he'll have that.
We'll start
tomorrow.
putting that out, and we'll promote the event as well.
Awesome.
On
Thank
Wednesday.
you for that.
And then once we have more information about the foraging event later in the fall, we'll have that out as well. And we're going to have you guys back on. We'll have you, Rachel, and hopefully Cooper and some other people from the DC Abortion Fund on as well later on, like early fall before the
foraging.
I'm excited. Jamie, we need you to be 4 year tall and shit. You can reach that.
That's just backwards cotton picking, bro. I don't do shit like that.
I gotta say, when you're tall, leaning down, the most sore I've ever been in my life is foraging crab apples in DC. You're just like, you're up and down and up and down. You think that you're tough from like working service and being on your feet all the time. Squatting and standing and reaching and then squatting. It's a legit workout. We should get like CrossFit people into this, actually.
Right?
Probably like
I'm not the volunteer type. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm too old for that shit. My back hurts a lot. I'll support the cause. I give you all the fucking money in the world, yo. Like it's like when my friends are, hey, can you help me move? I'm like,
You could help with the apple press. We have like an old school like crank press too, which we're gonna do as part of our Happy Trees Festival.
I can guarantee I can keep y'all laughing the entire time.
Well, there you go. Bring the booze. Just bring the booze.
Right, I'll bring a bunch of booze. I will sit there and watch y'all do whatever the fuck y'all want to do.
You can even bring your glass and sip with your pinky up.
Which is funny because like there a bit of an accident. Now I only have one wine glass left.
A bit of an accident? Is there?
Yeah, no, I slammed my dishwasher closed and like I heard it just shatter.
Oh, no.
It was just like, oh, those were nice.
Yeah, I've done it.
Those were nice.
Well, Rachel, we'll let you get out of here. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, it was great to have you.
Good luck with the HVAC.
Thank you. good. It's just servicing, which is I'm
Oh,
grateful
that's
for. But 7 a.m. is never fun.
never.
Uh,
Oh, we
No.
appreciate you giving us your time. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah,
And we
thank
can't wait
you.
to
Have
have
a
you
great
back
day.
on again.
Thanks. Bye.
Please, please.
Bye.
Well. Then there was 3.
No, it's awkward threesome right here.
You want to know what's really awkward? Oh, I should have played that TikTok.
Which
Since
one?
there's a TikTok about an abortion clinic. I think in St. Louis. Funny enough.
Oh,
So
funny.
I'll,
That's where she worked at Planned
That's
Parenthood.
a place that really needs
so I'm gonna play
abortion
this.
clinics.
I'll play this one.
Holy shit, this may be the greatest Gen Z troll of all time. Seriously, stop what you're doing. This is a forced birther group in Missouri. They have an annual benefit every year. And this is the Gen Z resistance in Missouri. And they crashed that benefit. But it's not the fact that they did, it's how they did it. Resist played the long game. And they slowly sent in members to volunteer for them, a few at a time for months. They placed themselves on all different committees, including the benefit. They became in charge of seating arrangements, speakers, and then the benefit started. Just as the keynote speaker was starting, 2 Resist members created diversion outside, passing out lube and condoms. All the security went to handle them, and that's when this happened. Gen Z infiltrated so deeply that Coalition Life had to send all of their volunteers home, because they didn't know who was who. And the benefit organizer who told the company...
So apparently my TikToks are finishing tonight. What it said, what she finished was what the main
The
person,
benefit.
the one who put on the benefit.
Wait, what?
The one who put together the whole thing of them tearing it down was the one who put on the benefit. They got that deep into it. I was like, this is motherfucking genius. Like, I usually hate everyone in the generation under me, but every once in a while, can you get me back?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty dope. And I can't believe I didn't play it while she was on here. Motherfucker.
No, it happened.
Way to go, Marcus.
I failed you.
I haven't seen that many funny TikToks this week. It's always like loan shit. Like, do you need a loan? Are you poor? You want to owe more money? Take this loan out. You'll love it. Yeah.
All right. What else do I have? Y'all know MAGA people are crazy.
Oh, we do. Have you guys read any of Trump's legal stuff since he's his own lawyer?
No, I haven't. Not yet.
Oh, it's good. That man is not a writer. That man is.
Hold on. The lawyer's writing or Trump's writing?
Just his writing in general and everything that he's been talking about and stuff he's had to write down for like the public and stuff. The said subpoenas and shit. He's going to be his own lawyer since no one's dumb enough to take it on. Yeah, that kid's fucked.
You know what? I wanted to say he's going to be fucked, but he hasn't got fucked yet. So I'll believe when I see it.
It's a long game.
We've been playing the shit for
arresting an ex-sitting president is definitely not going to be the easiest thing you can do, especially here in the United States. I mean, you see these motherfuckers, they're training for a civil war, like, okay, Michigan militia. You know what I mean?
There's army tanks here.
Right.
So anyway, this is more conspiracy theories from the crazy.
If you remember when Mr. Trump first got in, he launched SpaceX and Space Age up there, and he put the biggest satellite up there. Well, it caught all the votes that were pinged up from him and sent back to Earth for Biden. They got all that. They got it all.
What? Where's this information from? They're sending votes to space?
They sent the votes to Italy and Berlin.
For what?
Well, they shot them up there, and then they brought them back as Biden's.
Why are they sending votes up to satellites?
Because they had to do it some way that wasn't so suspicious. But he caught them in the act. And here's what I want you to
mention this in this speech. He's going to talk about the satellites and the votes.
He won't do that. This is a secret. You might want to edit.
Okay. Do we need to talk about that? Man. Ooh.
I mean, exactly what it says. This woman is a voter. She's a registered voter. Like, please, everybody go vote.
You know, every once in a while, I just feel like we should just start doing these extreme late-term abortions on people,
like when they're 25 years old.
Like when they're like 45 and they say silly shit like that. You know, we just be able to just kill them. Like, there's your abortion clinic right there. You know what I mean? Keep babies until they're like, you know, old enough to be idiots. But just kill all the idiots. You know what I mean? Like, that person's probably procreated several times over. You know?
That's the type of person that I had hoped that like COVID would have taken care of. But...
Right? Like Darwin Award. You know, like, just, oh man, maybe this is a Darwin test. But no. She probably stays in the house anyway. Pulling a Peggy Bundy, just eating bonbons and watching QVC, ordering Trump plates. Do you remember those? They still make those commemorative plates.
The what?
They do.
The commemorative plates and stuff like that, like grandma type of shit or whatever. Like my grandma had one for like JFK. Someone still shit like that.
Plates?
The plates, commemorative plates.
Like
plates.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look at Jamie's face.
Yep. Oh shit! I forgot the game was there. Look at Marcus's face. Well, there's a picture. Wasn't ready for that. My man in the red shorts really brought it in, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Where did Jimmy go?
Yeah, he was good for him. That was the Black Cat.
Oh, wait, no, that was still at DC9.
That shirt. That fucking shirt.
I love it.
That is a fucking shirt, boy. Let me tell you. At one point,
Monday was selling it, and Amber's been eyeing it for like over a year. She finally bought it.
Jesus Christ.
Now that was at the Black Cat.
That's at the Black. Yep, that's right before I left. And there's a boo. The fuck was me and Megan? I forgot she was there. Like, what were we talking about? It seems like it was an interesting conversation. I wish I knew.
I forgot she was there, but you were like, she was like comforting you.
Right. I was probably saying weird things. Michael Jackson's a Puerto Rican. You know, fucking just being fucking Jamie's little weird drunk self. Glad I'm not creepy.
Meanwhile, I'm taking a fucking walk around town.
Right. So Mount fucking Rainier, you psychopath.
How far? How many miles? How far is that?
Google that shit, Mark. Bing that shit, Marcus. Here, actually,
I'm producing a show.
Hopefully.
Sorry. Speaking of drunk, here's the drunkest question ever at a comedy club.
Let me handle that question. First of all, I've never heard so many vowels in a row. You used all of them multiple times with no consonants, which was really impressive. It was like you couldn't. It's like you just couldn't stop them from coming out. Would you like to rephrase that question with actual words next time?
That was good. What else do I have? What else?
So you walked approximately 3.7 miles.
Damn, dummy.
It's not bad.
I'm drunk though, man. Fuck that shit. Stumbling too, just falling into people.
Sure, I'm surprised you didn't stop and get pizza.
Do what?
So you didn't stop and get pizza.
That probably made it even fucking worse. Just fatly eating pizza, walking down the street.
I feel like that's your MO. Like when you're, because that's where you went when you shimmied out of your backpack. You went to get pizza.
Shimmy out of the backpack.
It's not the alcohol that makes me do dumb shit. It's the pizza.
That's not the pizza. It's just generally how you do.
It's
Like,
just you,
it's like, oh my God, Marcus is being Marcus. Marcus is Marcusing.
Bradley has made a
Don't mind me. I'm just getting water.
Sad Jamie's getting his water.
Oh,
I gotta show Jamie the shirt.
You got a skirt?
Shirt.
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 You mean the rocking shirt you got on right now? I'm so confused about that.
What shirt? Oh, your shirt.
Oh my God!
Wait,
no,
you have to wait until Jamie comes back so you can see this.
I'm just gonna leave it up.
We were talking about the fact that you had worked brunch and it wasn't that deep. Oh, thank God. Like, you know, you ever like look over and see two people having a serious drunk conversation? They're talking about like their horoscopes and their life trauma and shit like that. And like in the middle of a dope ass party, it's like, oh fuck.
I mean, I was talking about a food podcast with some girl last night for like an hour.
There you go. Sure, that's fucking up right there.
I mean, yeah, that was fun. All right, let's. All right, I got soccer. I have MAGA loses, MMA.
MAGA loses. I'm feeling MAGA loses.
All right, so someone lost their election, and this is how they reacted.
Here's a video of a MAGA who just lost her primary election in Florida.
Easy, but what are they doing? I want to know what people are actually going to do. My life is ruined.
And that one didn't want to play all the way, so that's awesome.
Why is your life ruined?
She's a MAGA.
She's a piece of shit.
All she did was like, bitch, take an L. Don't nobody like you. Fuck you, bitch. Like, move. Just go somewhere else. How about that? Matter of fact, if you don't like this American so much, you move. Bitch.
Right.
Exactly.
That person. All right. How's everything else, guys? You want to talk about anything else while we're here?
I ain't got shit. I'm just trying to survive right now still. This is definitely an all-day hangover.
Yeah, Jamie, I slept till like 3 o'clock, so that's fine.
I went and I had a physical the day after a bachelor party one time, and this guy almost called an ambulance. He was like, "You're about to die," and I was like, "What?" He was like, "No, this is not good. This is not good. Your liver's not filtering anything." Blah blah blah. I was like, "Oh shit!" I was at a bachelor party last night. He was like, "Oh."
He couldn't smell you?
Right. I got sick one time and did that whole the sauna thing. You know, you go sit in the sauna, sweat it out. And this guy walked in. I've been there for like a half an hour. This guy walked in. He was like, "Are you drinking in here?" I was like, "No." He was like, "That smells like fucking Jameson." And I was just like, "You don't know me, bitch." You don't know me talking to me like this, goddammit.
So one of my friends, I won't say who because I shouldn't reveal these things, but she's going to a physical, going to have a physical, and not thinking because this is like a regular thing that she does. She was drinking some seltzers on the way to the doctor.
That's smart.
Is this you, Val?
No, I haven't been to the doctor in a while.
10 years.
So
My grandfather used to
seltzers
say,
and gets to the doctor, and like they do all these like they're just routine testing and stuff. And the doctor called, and he was like, "You're a little concerned. Your tests came back, and it seems that you are pre-diabetic." She's like, "What?" It's like, "Yeah, they're high, whatever levels of glucose level and all this stuff." And she was like, but then he was like, he just kept being like, "Is there anything that you want to tell me? Like anything different? Did anything change? Did you do anything different that morning?" She's like,
"I've been drinking, bitch." That's what you should have said. Shit, I love telling my doctor how much I drink. Shit is fucking fantastic. I got this little Indian man, Dr. Gupta, sweetheart, fucking hilarious. But he's like, "Yeah, how much do you drink?" He's like, 1 or 2 glasses a week. I just giggle. He's like, you feel like a bottle or two? It's like, "What kind of bottle, sir?" It's like, no, I did that shit. I did all that drinking. Like 1 or 2 glasses, like in an hour, motherfucker. Like, what do you want me to do? I'm not really an alcoholic. I'm functional. I can just not drink. But I continue to drink this way because it's a part of my lifestyle. It's a change. It's permitted. It's like punk rock. You can't get rid of it.
I was saying the other day when I went, I went to that wedding on Sunday. I went to that wedding in Philly, and I realized it's one of those times when you realize when you're hanging out with like regular daywalkers that like my life is very different than theirs. And I was like, do I have a problem? Because I was like, the wedding was weird. I mean, the wedding was at it was at 12:30, and then there was like a 4-hour whatever break between the end of the wedding ceremony and the reception. And I was like, so where are we going? What are we doing? And someone was like, I need to like sit down and take a nap. And I was like, what? And I was like, so someone else was like, yeah, I need to go get a drink. I was like, all right, cool. What bar are we going to? And they were like, no, like coffee or something. And I was like, what?
It's a wedding, motherfucker.
I was like, but wait, what? And I was like, well, you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning. And they all kind of looked at me, and I was like, is that bad?
Oh, you hoes suck. My grandfather used to say that you don't know you have cancer until the doctor. Sorry, you don't have cancer until the doctor tells you.
I've heard something like that before. It's a good call.
I was like, do I have a problem? I'm not sure.
You don't have a problem. They're the ones with the problem. They don't know how to.
Megan, to answer your question, we will be there, but we won't be there. Does that make sense?
Where are we going?
At ANXO. Like, we'll be there physically, but we won't be performing or doing anything.
Performing? Oh, yeah, we'll just be there.
Yeah, we're just hanging out. Yeah, we're going to buy the booze. Buy all the booze. All right, so I'm not going to ask. I'm just going to go.
His millennial names are dumb, dude. I met a dude the other day named Jathan. Not Jason, not Nathan, just Jathan. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm horrible at remembering people's names, so I like to say it to them in conversation so it gets stuck in my head. So I was like, hey there, Jathan. Nice to meet you, Jathan. Very interesting name you have, Jathan. And he looks back at me and goes, wow. Are you 30th right now? Some of y'all are probably going to get that one
on the ride home.
You ever congratulate a pregnant woman? You ever congratulate a pregnant woman and come to find out she just eats too many cheeseburgers?
Yeah, that's why you don't do that.
I learned that lesson in my early 20s.
Yeah. So did I.
Wait till they tell you, son. Wait till they tell you.
I learned a long time ago, you never assume that someone is pregnant. Never, ever, ever.
Yeah, my aunt was pissed. Oh, shit. Fat bitch. Keep him coming, Marcus. Let's get this party going.
What's up?
TikTok, Kentucky, whatever the fuck we call these things these days.
Here he goes, winding up for the shot, and oh! Sterling directly to the 16.
Little chance that man's nose for round 2.
And Shaw takes a moment. Here he goes with the approach. Oh!
Ball flies straight through his hands at him, straight in the schnoz.
And
120
saves and 2 defense.
Scott
Sterling is back!
He's still in the game!
Making a very not kids.
Sterling still waiting for the kick down. He's probably wondering when.
Oh my
The ball drills Sterling right!
The man!
The myth!
The legend! 3!
Absolutely incredible. Come out. No, wait! They brought him a chair!
Oh! There is no possible way that North Carolina can mess up this shot. Oh!
Wrong!
Look at him beg for mercy when it's mercy that should be begging us a lot.
But where's Sterling? Oh, he seems to be crawling on goal. What is he doing?
He's throwing away the bat. Oh!
That one's stupid, but I had to play it out loud.
I want to live. I want to live. Oh, that's funny as shit.
All right.
started training mixed martial arts, MMA, some people call it UFC. You do UFC. UFC is an organization. MMA, mixed martial arts, is a sport. That's like saying you do NBA, you know? You do Golden State Warrior. Anyway, I actually started training on my ex-girlfriend's birthday, and I missed her, and I was like, man, what if she has a boyfriend? And that's all I needed. So I signed up. It took me like 3 weeks, and I was like, I'll kill everybody. Like, I got it. I think I got it. All you do is twist your hand. I think I got it, you know? I went to my first sparring session, which is like, you know, like light fighting. That's what I thought. I was like, I can't wait to light fight. And I brought a Tinder date to the sparring session. Yeah, bad idea. So first person I sparred, he was like 6'19". He was, he had tattoos. I don't know if you know this, but tattoos make you stronger. And I didn't even realize that he used to date the girl I brought on a Tinder date. He was engaged to her. He has children with this woman.
I didn't finish.
She has children with this woman. At least I thought that about the way he beat my ass. That's how it's just how I mean beat him the fuck up.
Let me try to download that one. These motherfuckers. Goddamn StreamYard.
These TikToks, motherfucker.
Some bitches.
Some bitches.
We'll play my favorite guy. Whoops. Play, bitch. Why does God hate me?
You'd be surprised.
Would I be though?
I started training mixed martial arts.
Let's see. Let me go back.
I mean, like,
he was a hoe. Fuck you, computer.
I get it. But he was hitting me like that. Yep.
Yep. Way to go, guys. Way to go.
Way to go, TikToks.
All right, we'll make it out on my favorite guy. Barbecuing.
Bitch, you know it's all about barbecued chicken on a cookout? Bitch, everybody fucks with ribs. Yeah, on the Flintstones maybe, but this is real life, bitch. Well, you can't have a great cookout without a hot dog. Bitch, you are the stepdad of cookout food. And it's mainly stepdads that be making your ass. Bitch, burgers are the only thing that'll make you forget that you're surrounded by a bunch of family members that you don't like. Look, I just want... Bitch, go wait in the car. We already told you several times, Coleslaw. Why can't I be in the conversation? No. Bitch, get your ass in the car. Bitch, I know you see all this fat and juices. We about to clog some arteries up in this bitch. Well, none of you are as good as a steak. Tender, juicy, and moist. Whoa, okay. We have all told you about that word now. Bitch, where's that music coming from? Hey, Uno.
Damn.
Was that the end or no?
No, it wasn't, but I'm not playing it again.
Damn it.
You've had our time, guys.
You know it's all about barbecue chicken.
Let's see if it goes this time.
Also, like, who the fuck goes to a barbecue and is like, damn, I can't wait to get the barbecue chicken. That face. Oof.
Nah, it doesn't work well. Anyway. All right, Val, are we going to Delaware still?
Yeah.
Y'all going to Delaware tonight?
My phone's there.
Your phone is there, and that's why you're going to Delaware?
The phone was delivered there. Now, I've been trying to get this phone back for a week now. I'm going there. And she wants to go to the beach in the morning, and I'm not.
It was just 2 hours. I got you.
It's just better to drive at night than to drive early in the morning.
I mean, I'm up for another hour, so it's fine.
I'm terrible at waking up early.
I got you.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with that bullshit. I'm going to beat my dick and play video games. I'm super excited. I got shit to do. Like, scream if you want to, motherfucker. Nobody's coming to save you. Ah, man. St. Ives. Oof.
They still make St. Ives?
I was more of an old E guy.
Old English, yeah. Do you remember? Didn't somebody bring us a bottle one time?
Old English, yeah. Who was that?
Might have been McGavin.
You ever been to one of those places that have like rosé in a 40 bottle?
No.
Yeah, like they sell. There's like one rosé that comes in like a 40 bottle. I'm always just like, you know what? White people are buying this.
Oh yeah, brunch, definitely brunch girls.
We definitely forgot about safe words, Megan. It's because we didn't have Jamie on the show at first.
No, there you go. I'll do it. It's like, hey, gotta get him in now, because boy, oh boy, he's gonna fuck up the church's money.
We did get through the first 10 minutes.
No shit. That's what happens when I take off the first hour.
we got through it.
All right. I mean, I believe you.
I think it's time for some player ending credits, guys.
No, Val keeps sending me shit.
Well, because I forgot that I had them.
The style 5 minutes late. See, that's like, what's that gonna do? Yeah, like at this point, I know we were getting very inventive with our drug usage and intakes, but you just out here frying up weed leaves and shit. Like, come on, guys. Like, also, it wouldn't look like them leaves you crumple the fuck up. See, motherfuckers is lying. I know how to cook bitch.
It wouldn't taste good.
No, it's fucking terrible. Shit.
But they would fry it though.
Or put gravy on it.
Or put gravy on it.
Oh yeah, Jamie, I gotta show you your shirt. What the fuck is it?
That's what I got Marcus for his birthday.
That is busy as fuck. Whoa.
That's my cat.
Did you get this shirt made?
I had it made.
I want to be Marcus's twin. Like the fuck. I'm impressed. I'm not gonna lie to you.
What?
I'm impressed with shit, yo. I'm looking a little jealous too. Like, damn, that's a cool ass fucking shirt. That fucking Caroline.
But I got this for our roommate Matt. That's his cat.
That's even weirder. Look at a tabby. Oh,
it was like if I got 2, then there was like a more of a discount. So I was like, all right, I'll just get 2 of them. Why not?
Fucking why not? Why the fuck not?
Exactly.
Oh man, that's fucking crazy.
Ooh, this cider is a little tart. This one?
Which one?
Which one's good?
Oh yeah, I drank that one first. It was good though.
I don't know. I'm not like I mean, I feel like a lot of people would like it, but I'm not super excited about tart. This one I didn't mind at all.
Yeah, this one I'm drinking.
The Pride one, decent. I liked it. I'm excited. Truth be told, I really am excited for this foraging event.
Reverse cotton picking. I ain't doing the shit. Except I gotta go like this. Instead of going
you can
like
just
this.
shake the tree.
I can't shake the motherfucker.
The basket and be like,
I told you guys, I don't volunteer. I don't volunteer for shit. You can see the PTA meetings. Hey, Mr. Roderick, can you show the fuck out? No.
No, I cannot. No, I cannot. No, I will not.
Fuck, I'm not. Oh, Mr. Roderick, you got some time?
Yeah, but if there's drinking involved, no? I
can do all the drinking by my damn self. If I gotta bring the booze, volunteer my time for free, fuck them. Like I said, I'll donate money.
All right, guys.
Fun team building events. Jamie.
We already got a team. Fuck that team. Fuck that shit. Like I said, I'll donate money.
The District Misfits Show team.
So my black ass will sit around and watch y'all team build.
That's what I meant.
And make terrible comments while you do it.
You can bring the booze while we.
I will bring the booze and watch y'all forage y'all motherfucking asses off to your heart's content. But I ain't taking shit.
And Jamie, then we can walk home.
Right.
Yeah,
no.
the 2 of you can walk home.
All right, man, look, I told you I don't run up the stairs. Fuck, I look like walking home from that bullshit. I'll be tired from all the drinking. Like, woo, my poor shoulder is tired. Goddamn.
All right.
We're totally insane.